I'm soaring high in the sky, how I long to share with you these feelings I keep buried deep inside. I wonder why your embrace makes me fly. It seemed like just yesterday you walked in and showed me the way, and when you finally smiled at me, I smiled back so happily. I can't believe this is happening. I had a small feeling you'd come and rescue me, whisper to me that you belong to me. I cannot believe that you'd end up reaching out your hand and choosing me. This love makes me soar up in the sky. If someone dared to ask me why, I'd come crashing down and share the story of us. You make me feel so high. I am riding on the breeze. When you hold me on my ease, please never let me go. I love you so, don't let me go.
What's up, guys? The name's Rena, and welcome to All For You, the demo version. So, Michaela Laws has just announced that the demo for All For You, and it's a dating game where you can date girls, apparently. I am actually really much looking forward to this, and you know, the art looks great. I've heard much about it, and I actually can't wait to actually play this for you guys. So I know nothing about this game. All I know is that we enter a new school, and we meet all these girls, and we get to hang out with at least one of them. So that's all I know for now. But let's actually get started now, shall we? I'm actually really excited to start this.
Senpai, ちょっと言ってしまいたいことが。
Senpai, I need to tell you something. Say it.
これ、もうずいぶん長いこと言おうとしてたのだけど。
I've been wanting to tell you this for some time now. Say it.
私、卒業式まで待ちたかったの。
I wanted to wait until graduation to say, what game are we playing? It looks like someone's gonna confess. Come on!
私。
God damn it! I'm guessing the phone. Hello?
Riley, are you raising your voice at me?
Oh, fuck, no? Maybe.
Riley, is everything okay?
We will turn around and...
I'm sorry. Hi, Dad.
Oh, stop it. Riley's probably just playing that video game again.
It's not just a video game, Mom. It's a simulation that teaches social interaction and character development through work and dedication. Okay, sure.
In other words, Riley's right-hand substitute.
Dad!
Enough! Riley, we just got off the airplane, and we're making our way to our connection. Have you packed everything you needed for school?
I would guess I did. Yes, Mom.
Good. I know this was such short notice, but at least everything worked out, right? You'll get the whole house to yourself for a couple of weeks, and your nagging parents won't be there to bother you.
Oh, the dream life. I'm joking. Yeah, I guess.
All right. Make sure you don't stay up too late playing that game now. You need sleep.
All right, Mother. Thanks. This is the best mother I've had. Yes, Mom.
All right. We love you.
I love you too. Ugh. I'll just finish her route and go to bed.
好きなんです、先輩。
I love you, Senpai. Perfect. Now I can start another girl's route tomorrow. Oh my god. Love is difficult to find. It's funny how life is full of opportunity and choice. We never really take our choices into consideration until we look back on them with either regret or joy. The things we do and say become the stepping stones of our lives. It's pretty poetic if you think about it. Our futures are dependent on the choices of our past and present. As a teenager about to graduate high school, the question of my future practically shouted obscenities against my face. I was going to mature into something more than a young adult. I was going to start my life as an independent person in society. The thought of that was scary beyond belief. I didn't know if I was ready to face my future. I wasn't sure if I wanted to face it at all. Did every teenager feel like this? Was that life's rite of passage from being a child to becoming an adult? I was 19. Hey, look, my age. Technically and legally an adult. I was a senior in high school and only a couple of weeks away from grabbing my diploma and being let loose into the world. I had no idea how to prepare myself. Hey, I'm in college and I have no idea how to prepare myself still. How was I going to be ready for what the world has in store for me? How was I going to be ready for a job, a family, and getting old? Would I be happy with the job I pick? Would I enjoy every day with the person I love? Of course I would. Would I ever make decisions I'll regret forever? Yes. Yes, you will. Because I've done that. I'm pretty sure we've all done that in high school. There was no way to be sure, no matter what I thought. Still, something in my gut told me that I was going to figure it out. The ringing in my ear wasn't so friendly, though. Ugh. The blaring of my alarm clock echoed loudly in my ear and through my room as I unwillingly opened my eyes, waking from my previously peaceful slumber. My body ached, pleading with me to sleep just a little while longer. However, I had set the alarm for a reason. I forgot to mention before when she was up late at night, I loved her room with all the stars and stuff. That was cool. Her room is nice here too, anyway. I fought against every nerve in my body. Ooh. I fought against every nerve in my body and sat up, grabbing my smartphone and turning off my alarms. As the noise ended, I let out a contented sigh. Before I could fall back on my pillows, though, I forced myself to push my legs over the side of my bed, and I stood up. That's exactly what I had to do this morning. The sun peeked in through my circles. Oh, I read that wrong. The sun peeked in through my curtains, flashing against my eyes as I stood at a perfect angle to the protruding sunlight. I groaned and shut my eyes, blocking it from its painful rays. As I stepped forward and slowly opened the curtains, the sun came in and brightened my room at last. A yawn escaped my mouth. Today was going to be a rough day. I could feel it. My mind began to slowly grind through thoughts of the day. Today was a pretty important day, so I had to make sure I didn't screw it up by doing something stupid or messing anything up. As I showered and brushed my teeth, I ran through the plans of the day. Pack my bag, head to school, go to the office, get my schedule, be a regular student, try not to get pushed into a locker. Sounds good. I sighed. Today was me getting used to a new school. It was strange, going to a new school mid-semester, but I didn't have a choice in the matter. My old school had strict rules about every student's living arrangements. Since my parents were out of town for work, I was essentially forced to go to another school because of potential negative behavior due to neglect. What kind of school even has that rule? Luckily, there was another public school that accepted all of my school credits and allowed me to attend, despite awkward timing. I guess I had to thank my lucky stars. I got the house to myself, and I was going to graduate on time. That's nice. What I wasn't excited for was the idea of adapting to a new school and meeting new people. I wasn't exactly a social person, but I didn't know if it would matter, being the new kid at the end of the year. It wasn't like anyone was going to try to be close to me, right? Probably. I don't know. Right. I stopped for a moment, staring at myself in the mirror. I became entranced by the minor dark circles under my eyes and unbrushed hair on my head. Had I really grown up? Was I really graduating in less than 2 weeks? Boy, that's a long time. I mean, that's a short time, sorry. My eyes traveled down my neck towards my abnormal body mark, signed over my skin like some sort of weird brand that singled me out from a lot of other people. When people saw it, They wouldn't stop pointing it out because of how abnormally perfect it was on my chest. On my chest, just over where my heart would be, I had a tan, heart-shaped mark. Michaela, are you spying on me? I have the same exact heart-shaped mark over my chest where my heart is. I'm not joking. I'm fucking serious. I have a birthmark shaped as a heart right over on the left side where my heart is supposed to be on my chest. That's just, oh my god. Michaela, how? Oh my god. It had shown up randomly one day, and I only assumed that it was some sort of reaction to being in the sun for too long or an allergic reaction to some medicine I took. Well, it's kind of different from me. I was born with this. It's a birthmark. However, the longer I had it, the more I accepted it as a new part of my skin. Not many people saw it except for my family, so it really didn't bother me much. Still, it was something that caught my eye each time I was shirtless in the mirror. I shook my head and washed my face. I highly doubted anyone at the new school would ever see it. As I finished washing my face, my phone rang, ushering me to answer. Hello?
Hey, how is everything going? Are you ready for your first day of school?
I think so. Mom, you called me last night. You don't need to check up on me the morning after.
I know, honey, but I can't help but be ecstatic. You're going to a new school. It's exciting.
I rolled my eyes with a smile. My mother was always the eccentric type. Luckily, my dad's almost militaristically cold expression managed to balance their dynamics out whenever they were together.
Are you truly prepared, Riley?
Yes, sir.
You got your transferal papers, supplies, permission slips?
Yeah, Dad.
Did you clean your room, brush your teeth, use fresh deodorant?
Dad! I'm good. I'm 19, for Christ's sake. I got it. I heard my dad grumble on the other end of the phone before my mother took it and giggled into the microphone.
All right. Now you've gone and made your father grumble. Now we'll never get him to smile today. Well, unless I...
Cue the gagging noises. Blah. Mom, I gotta go.
Oh, okay, don't forget. We'll be sending over a daily allowance just in case. But don't spend it on...
I know. Don't spend it on food. The fridge is packed and I can bring stuff to school for lunch. I got it.
All right, have fun.
As I hung up the phone, I stared down at it. My parents had never gone out of town before, so I couldn't help but wonder what they were up to. I knew that they were part of some archive group that documented history for some company, but to call them out for a job out of state seemed odd. I shook my head and left the bathroom to get dressed, turning my thoughts back to school. I just had to be myself. I wasn't planning to be a prom king or a valedictorian. I just had to get through the last 2 weeks of school year and graduate. The bright white numbers on my phone signals for me to hurry up with the time. 6:30 a.m. I groaned and rolled my eyes before rushing to the kitchen and fixing myself breakfast. With a piece of toast jammed in my mouth, I packed a lunch as well. The typical anime style. I'm late for school! Stuff a toast in my mouth and bring my lunch! Nothing like leftovers for lunch. With my bag fully packed and my stomach full of breakfast, I headed out. The school was a 15-minute walk away from my house, so I had time to get to the office, settle everything, and head for my first class without incident. The heat of spring turning to summer beat against my head as I walked. I began to imagine a perfect summer, lazing around in my house and enjoying a time away from desk and homework. It seemed like a dream too good to be true, but it was going to be a reality in a matter of weeks. Yeah. I let a chill smile brush over my lips as I imagined it. Just get through the school year and graduate, Riley. Then you'll be home free. I almost became lost enough to ignore the sound of quick rolling wheels skidding across the brick cement sidewalk behind me.
Yeah! Slow down! Look out!
Oh! The sound of shouts behind me forced me to turn my head and spot a pair of girls speeding down the sidewalk towards me. The girl in the wheelchair was frightened beyond compare, while the girl guiding her chair was grinning from ear to ear. Oh boy. They look cute though. Holy crap! Jumping out of the way onto the grass, I stared wide-eyed at the girl in the wheelchair was being forced forward in a sprinting speed across the cement by a much taller woman in casual sportswear.
Latifah, that's so fast! Woo!
Oh god, don't scare the poor girl. They eventually vanished over the horizon in the direction I was heading in. Were they students from the school I was going to attend? Most likely, yes. I think there are love interests as well. Part of me hoped that wasn't the case. Still, I stepped back onto the sidewalk, taking in what had happened, and shook my head. That was really weird, even for Chicago standards. Then again, I went to a private school. Chicago public schools were very different in terms of behavior and acceptance and leniency. I guess that was why they accepted my credits and let me graduate with their class. I rolled my shoulders back and continued forward, letting the event trickle back into my memories as I made my way through town towards my new school. Luckily, I didn't meet anyone else on the way there. Instead, my way was blocked by a large group of people ogling something I couldn't see. What the?
Damn, doesn't she look cute?
Yeah. Oh my god, her outfit is to die for.
All right, look over here.
Okay.
Oh, they're so cute. I love them both now. Peeking over the shoulder of the crowd, I could barely see a pair of girls at the front of the gate. One was very pretty with an outfit that almost screamed "rich girl," while the other had a high-tech camera and clothes that were littered in cute food icons. Oh, that's adorable. From the look of it, this entire situation was just a fashion photo shoot. Why it was being held up against the school gates, I would never know. But I had to somehow get around it in order to get to the office. You gotta be kidding me.
Are you done yet? We have to head over to the next area.
Just a minute, I'm almost done. Hold still.
After a few more clicks, the girl with the camera looked down at the screen of it and examined her work. I tapped my foot, hoping this would be done soon.
What is going on here?
Another one! As if the voice had magical powers, everyone's heads turned to see a girl staring hard at the working pair with her arms crossed.
Good morning to you too, Lady Killjoy.
Look, I know you both need to do your photo shoots for your portfolios, but can't you take it somewhere that won't blot traffic?
We've been here since 6 a.m. though. We didn't know it would take this long.
Nevertheless, can you please take this somewhere else now? I'm sure everyone here wants to get inside and not stand around in the blazing heat.
Without another word, the pair nodded in acknowledgement and quickly packed their things before heading away from the gate. Obediently, some of the crowd followed them, wanting to watch more of the shoot. Bye-bye! The girl who commanded them to leave vanished as well, most likely blending in with the crowd that was going inside or going off somewhere else to right some other wrong on the school grounds. I shook my head. Now was not a time to dwell on it. I had to get inside to register for my new classes, though I was pretty sure I would be excused from all of the assignments regardless. Rolling my shoulders, I walked inside, ready to register and get started.
All right, everyone, we have a transfer student, so mind your manners.
The first entrance is always the craziest. Even after meeting the dean and arranging my new schedule, the first step into a new classroom was by far the scariest part of being a new student. Who knew what the others would think of you? Without hearing a word, you were already doomed to be judged based on how you looked or how your face painted your expression. Wow, I can't read. You had to be confident, but humble at the same time, prepared for the worst thoughts and ideas about you to appear in everyone's minds. If you spent too much time on it, the thoughts of the first impressions you gave would turn you into a recluse. Still, I had to step in. I walked into the classroom and looked at the other students in the room, interested to see who I would be spending my 2 weeks with. To my surprise, I recognized a handful of faces. Instantly, my eyes spotted the girls I had seen before even entering the school. Each of them stared at me and returned to my gaze as I mentally recollected each of them. I took a breath nonetheless and introduced myself. Hello, my name is Riley. The class acknowledged my presence one way or another, some with a nod, a wave, or a silent judgmental stare. Oh boy. I expected as much and held my ground regardless. At least my greeting wasn't met with anything odd. The teacher finally cleared his throat and pointed to an empty desk at the center of the room.
Go ahead and take that desk. After you settle in, we'll start today's lesson.
No matter who was teaching, I always managed to find learning new subjects in any classroom soporific. Now that I was in a new school, that feeling seemed to increase tenfold. Maybe it was because I was only going to be there for a short while. Maybe it was because I went to a private school where the curriculum was higher on the education scale. Nevertheless, sitting in that class proved to be dull. The lecture continued on and on to the point that I began to imagine time moving through thick sludge. It became relieving to hear the class bell go off, signaling the next set of classes. Finally! Unfortunately, I was met with classes of the same caliber, teaching lessons I already knew or didn't particularly care for. I even had to spend my lunch period being attached to a teacher's hip as they gave me an unwanted tour of the school so I wouldn't get lost, despite having a map of the school already. It was like this school expected me to bleed school colors in the short amount of time I was there. Luckily, I wasn't expected to do any of the tests or pass, since I was only going to be there for attendance. At least that was a perk. That's awesome. I was dragged all around the school. I saw glimpses of the science wing, the music hall, the art rooms, the whole shebang. Even the doors to the courtyard and the outdoor track. At the end of it, I was exhausted from walking around. I didn't get time to explore each feature, so I was left with imaginary images of each section of the school. As I expected, the remainder of the day was slow. Everything my classes taught or went over were subjects I already knew. Luckily, I was excused from many tests and files they required, but the attendance requirement began to grate on my nerves. Even the final class of the day, which for me was a class called Senior Studies, gave me an excuse to daydream a little.
Alright class, just as a reminder before you go, in-class work on your final presentations will begin on Wednesday. Make sure to come in with your ideal topics, and we'll assign partners when class begins that day.
Final presentations? Did that mean I had to sit through lectures from other students? I began to mentally groan at the idea. Everybody has the same thought, though. As the bell rang, I could feel my entire body just let out a sigh. I didn't expect the first day to be so slow, but at least it wasn't mind-numbing.
Hey Sydney, you want to walk together to your science club thing? It's on the way to the gym for sports club.
Sure, I'd like that.
Aww.
Oh, Jessica! Are you free for some afternoon shots for Photo Club?
Sorry, Benny. I have some business to attend to with Film Club. Ask Kayla to fill in for me. I'm sure Lady Killjoy would enjoy a little photo shoot.
Oh.
Insult aside, I unfortunately have to go to a student council meeting. I have a feeling it will be exhausting.
Drat. Okay. We'll figure something out. See you both tomorrow.
A small interest rippled in my brain about looking into the clubs I overheard about, but another, larger part of me just wanted to make my way home. Maybe I could stop at the mall or something on the way. Then again, I could study a bit here or use the track. What should I do? Run the track, study here, model for class, something else. Play cherry blossoms, go home, visit the mall. Okay, me as a person, I would not run the track. I am not a study person either, but I try. Model for a class, that's something I've never thought about. I would always want to go home, but, visit the mall, or model for art class, or go home. I'm not gonna choose to go home. Maybe I'll model for art class. You decide to do some modeling. Alright then. I walked into the room feeling pretty nervous, but it turned out everyone there was really friendly and looking forward to drawing me for some reason. I thought maybe I'd have to get naked or wear some weird costumes, but mostly they just wanted me to sit there and look natural. It was hard to sit really still, and it was also pretty boring just doing nothing but looking ahead, but I managed. It wasn't really until after when it became sort of fun. a lot of the artists came up to talk to me, and some even showed me what they sketched. It was pretty cool to be part of an art project like that, and I was even asked to come back. Charm. 3! Oh, that's cool. Arriving home, I felt exhausted. Sheesh, at least the first day is over. I reminded myself of everything that happened and how it occurred. The next 2 weeks solely relied on me just going and being a fly on the wall, but I didn't want to bore myself. Maybe making a friend would be beneficial. I dropped my bag by the couch in the living room and began to shuffle through the kitchen, wondering what to make for dinner. I could order out, but I was on a strict allowance. My thoughts broke only at the sound of my phone going off. Hello?
Hey, honey. I just wanted to check in and see how you were doing.
Oh, hey, Mom. I was just about to make dinner.
Oh, good. Good. Well, how was your first day?
It was alright, I guess. I'm only going to be there for 2 weeks, so it's not really important for me to get adjusted to it.
Oh, honey, don't think like that. You never know. You could find yourself graduating with a new friend. Maybe even someone more than a friend.
Oh my god, Mom. Mom!
Sweetie, we gotta go. The briefing is about to start.
All right, all right. Well, have a good night, honey. Your father and I love you to pieces.
Love you too, Mom. A friend? Maybe if I wanted to spend my time making friends. I didn't have to. I really didn't. Why would I care about anyone at school with only 2 weeks left to the school year? As I mindlessly began to prepare some sort of dinner for myself, I began to think about who I had met in school. A couple of faces popped up in my mind, but it was worth getting closer to them knowing that, after graduation, we would all part our separate ways. Some of them seemed interesting to get to know. I shook my head. If I wanted to make friends, then I would let my gut guide me into doing so. I skipped. Oops, sorry. I finished dinner at last and lounged in the living room, watching a new show, for me anyway, Lawyer How. Apparently, the new incarnation of the sci-fi space hero was going to be a woman, which sparked some controversy, but interested me enough to watch the show. I get what this is a reference to. I'm not going to say what it is, even though I don't watch it. Despite the controversy, she kicked ass in the episode I managed to catch. After I finished dinner, I began to ponder on what to do before bed. Since I was home, I was limited on what I could do, but that didn't mean that I couldn't do anything at all. Oh, excuse me. Prep an outfit, work out, play cherry blossom, study. I'm not a study person. I'm not a working out person. I usually just play my games, but maybe I'll just get an outfit because I usually have to do that sometimes. You decided to prepare an outfit. I walked into my room, dug around my closet, looking at the options of what I could wear for the following day. There were many things that I actually looked good and hanging peacefully in my closet that I wondered why I didn't consider wearing them more often. I took my time, pairing different sets together and piecing tops to bottoms on my bed. I try to do that sometimes. Eventually, I managed to find an outfit I liked that made me feel good. Satisfied with the choice I made, I hung the outfit up on a hanger and placed it on my bathroom doorknob. I felt myself grow a little more confident with the choice, even as I went to bed. Charm. 6. Nice. I wasn't looking forward to walking to school alone. It wasn't that I'd never done it before, but it always left me stuck alone with my wandering thoughts. I began to think about my dating sims. They were a part of my life, and I knew that eventually they were going to be my downfall socially. Until then, I was able to mull on them in blissful silence. The game I was working through, Cherry Blossoms, had some interesting characters despite the short story. I was really liking the romantic options, but the chipper and sweet main romance was my first, so she was still pretty special to me. On the other hand, she was my favorite, which was why I picked her first. But how did I know she was my favorite if I didn't try the other girls too? I'd only really picked her because I thought she had the cutest sprite.
Hey, it's you!
I recognized the voice yelling at me right away. Hey. The two girls I had seen the morning before and in class rushed up to me, the athletic girl pushing the girl in the wheelchair forward to line up with my side.
Good morning, Riley.
Good morning.
What were you thinking about over here? You looked pretty deep in it.
Nothing. Oh, nothing important. There was no way I was going to tell her that I was thinking about a visual novel. If she had even heard of them, she'd probably think it was porn. Oh my god, that's a lot of people when I talk about visual novels. I'm like, oh my god, is that porn? Sometimes it's no, sometimes it's maybe.
Looked kinda important by the look on your face.
Is it embarrassing? That's fine. We won't push things, right, Latifah?
Oh, I hope not. It's not embarrassing. I was just thinking about a video game character.
Oh, so it's just dumb then.
I mean, true, so.
Oh, what game?
Tell the truth, hide your waifus. Hide your waifus! Just tell the truth. Why not? If I was going to be socially decimated, then let it be with people I didn't really know too well. That's how you make friends, right? Maybe they know about the game. It's Cherry Blossoms, a visual novel.
Really? I wanted to play that one, but it isn't in English yet. Do you know Japanese?
I just got a fan patch for it.
There's a patch out already?
Well, it's not perfect yet. Some of the interface is still in Japanese, but it's easy to work out.
I'll have to look into that when I get home.
You had to tell her that. She was supposed to play Battle Mech Warfare tonight, and now she'll just be doing that mess. I need support, damn it! No one ever picks a healer.
Oh my god.
Sorry, I'll play with you first, okay?
You better.
The two kept talking as we got closer to the school. It was one of those conversations that I'd have to force myself into if I wanted to participate, so I just mentally checked out and thought about if I wanted to eat lunch I'd packed or just buy something anyway. What I was able to catch, however, was that they were secret gamers. They were secret gamers outside of school activities. They went back and forth about strategies, trying to find the best one without putting it into practice. That was kind of cute. It is. At least I wasn't the only one who valued games. When we arrived at the school gate, the two girls waved and went on towards the science wing. I marched myself inside, wanting to get to class early and maybe go through a chapter of Cherry Blossoms. I sat down and took out my handheld console, opening it, and loaded up my last save. Little did I notice that I was being watched.
Ooh, what's that?
Oh my god, hi Benny! Yeah! I jumped up, startled from the voice behind my ear. I quickly looked back to see the photography girl with her hands held in front of her defensively.
Oops! Sorry, didn't mean to scare you!
That's okay.
Benny, what are you doing?
Following up behind Benny was another girl, arms crossed in accusatory curiosity. I recognized her from the morning before, sending Benny and another student off to clear the entrance of the school. As if on cue with my thoughts, the student who was with Benny in the photo shoot stood from her seat and stepped up beside her photographer, despite being silent at the moment.
Nothing. I was just looking at Riley's game. It looked cool.
You could have tapped Riley's shoulder first instead of causing a surprise yelp to come out of the new student.
Oh, relax, Lady Killjoy. Benny was just curious.
And I would appreciate if you would drop that nickname for me, Jessika. It's our senior year.
You're still a killjoy, according to her.
I will the moment you stop being so straight-laced about everything.
I mean...
Says the girl with an obsessive regiment to her life schedule.
Ooh, did that burn-to-burn action just happen? It's getting hot in here!
the heck was I watching? I hoped it wouldn't turn into a cat fight. Nah, I doubt it.
Just because I like to keep a schedule to my life doesn't mean I can't have fun.
And just because I follow rules and regulations doesn't mean I can't enjoy things either. Pot meet kettle.
I swear, if I was able to describe the air between Kayla and Jessika, I'd say they were vast amounts of lightning with the hissing of cats. Oh my god. Benny, however, turned her attention away from the battle and looked to my game.
So, what are you playing?
Huh? Crap. Was today my social death day after all? I'm playing a dating sim. It's called Cherry Blossoms.
Never heard of it, but the art looks really retro.
Really? Let me see.
To my surprise, Jessika joined in at looking over my shoulder. Kayla, becoming the silent one, looked at my game as well, giving me an audience of 3 girls to my personal kryptonite game.
Huh. Are those school uniforms?
Yes, it would seem so. Japanese, I assume.
How do you know?
Some of the game buttons are in Japanese. See?
When the heck did my game become an art piece to critique?
That's so weird. But this looks really cool. What's it about?
Whatever it's about, it seems intriguing.
Well, knowing Japanese game developers, it could be about anything.
All right, settle down. Let's get to our seats before the bell rings, okay?
The girls finally separated from me and got into their seats. I, however, had to sigh and close my game, pocketing it. Guess I wouldn't be progressing in Cherry Blossoms after all. As the bell finally rang, we became trapped once more in a boring lecture about topics I couldn't really care about. Lecture upon lecture, I began to wipe each of them from my memory as they came. I attended each class to fulfill my arrangement with the school to graduate, so I focused on myself. My mother's call the previous night, however, made me ponder a bit on her words. Make a friend. Before I knew it, I was seated in the cafeteria at lunchtime. I ate lunch and stared at the clock, noting its time.
Woo! Lunch!
Come on! Better get there before all the good stuff gets taken.
Hey, wait up!
Not that I doubted the integrity of the food the school served, but I felt safer eating my own food regardless of what good stuff they had. At least I knew exactly what I was putting into my mouth. Still, sitting and eating lunch wasn't enough to fill my time. Luckily, I didn't have to take another tour, but I wanted to do something. Maybe now was the best time to explore the places the tour yesterday denied me. There were a couple of places I had in mind to look into. The question was, where should I go? Track, science wing, courtyard, photo room, music room. I'm assuming each one has the different girls. So the track is, I forgot all their names. Oh my god. I don't know much of their names. But I assume I wanted to go after Jessika, the fashion girl, I think. Yeah, because I think she's pretty neat to me. I think that's her name, Jessika. Benny was the photograph girl. She's right there. And then there was Kayla? And then I forgot all their names. Oh my god. I'm going to go in the courtyard because I want to do Jessika, the fashion girl. At least that's what I think about doing the first time. So I'll go in the courtyard. I decided not to remain cooped up in the cafeteria and began to wander the school. It was a new place, so I had to explore it as much as I could before graduation. I knew that they had a courtyard, which was a big surprise to me when I first found out. I wondered how it looked. Stepping out of the appropriate doors to the courtyard, I couldn't help but take in the large breath of fresh air that invaded my senses. Everything looked surprisingly well, kept for what I imagined a public school to have. Excuse me. Maybe I was too lost in the memory of my privileges in private school that I didn't expect good maintenance of schools not funded directly by tuition. Nevertheless, I walked into the courtyard and took in the sights around me. It was a surprisingly quiet and peaceful place. Not many students were there. A solitary moment for myself. I let a smile grow on my face and sat down on the grass, looking up at the sky before leaning back and finally laying on the ground in submission to relaxation. The space was so nice. I didn't fight back as my eyelids closed and I dozed off into my own daydreams. Huh? Hi! When I opened my eyes, I froze. I was shocked to see a very irritated woman staring down at me with her arms crossed tightly over her chest. Hi, Jessica? Did I do something wrong? Hello?
Hello. Can you please move from my spot now?
Sorry. Her spot? I grew even more confused as I sat up and looked at her in disbelief. Wait, your spot?
Yes. I typically sit there during my lunch break, but since you were sleeping there, I had to enjoy my lunch on the bench instead. I at least want to enjoy my spot for a moment before class starts again, if you would be so kind.
Sure. Sheesh, I didn't know it was such a big deal with her. At least she let me sleep for a little bit. Yeah, at least she didn't wake me up until afterwards. I scooted over and made space for her, not wanting to get up and stand just yet. Despite expecting her to lecture me again, I was shocked to see her accept the move and take out a folded blanket from her purse in silence. She laid it out beside me and eventually sat down on it, letting out a content sigh as she looked up at the sky. The irritation she showed me earlier practically melted away. Odd.
Thank you.
Welcome? At my reply, the girl's lips pressed together into a grimace. She turned her gaze at me, like she was ready to let loose some sort of insult. What did I do now?
Look, you're new here, I get it. You wouldn't recognize me at first glance, but perhaps you've seen me in Youth Vogue? Upcoming Star Mag?
What? Magazines? Was she some sort of model or something? Even more so, what did her modeling have to do with anything? As she took my confused face, the girl shook her head.
My name is Jessika Lunaberg. I'm a model, so my life is usually on a strict schedule of some sort. When something in that schedule changes all of a sudden, it slightly bothers me, alright?
So, like, OCD?
I guess you can say that. I like to keep my schedules unchanged. That includes time meant for just sitting on the grass and looking at the sky, as silly as that may sound.
No, it doesn't sound silly at all. I mean, my brother usually has that sort of schedule too. Like, he kind of has a schedule set in his own mind, so if we don't do a certain thing that he usually does at this time, he'll get upset and uncomfortable. So, I feel you on that, honestly, even if it's silly as watching the stars or something, or the sky. I mean, I like to do that too. That kind of made sense. I felt a little bad for taking her spot, but at least she didn't yell my ears off about it. She had a legitimate reason for being uncomfortable. When the bell suddenly rang, however, Jessica stood and calmly refolded her blanket, looking to me.
Thank you for understanding. You're free to come here if you want, but please leave this spot for me.
Sure, sorry about that. Without another word, Jessica nodded to me and walked back into the building. I followed suit, not wanting to be late to class. The afternoon didn't seem to get any better from yesterday's example. There was non-stop prep work for some sort of final presentation that everyone had to do. Except me, of course.
Before everyone leaves today, I just want to remind you all that we will begin finalizing our topics tomorrow. You will be assigned one partner to work with, so don't forget to bring in multiple options.
Would I have to be partnered up? I imagined the school would have a backup plan for me, but they never said I had to do any work, just show up. As the bell rang for school to be over, I began to think on what to do with my time. Run the track, study here, model for art class, play cherry blossoms, go home visit. Let's visit the mall. We decided to go to the mall after school. While I really didn't know the school well, the mall was a familiar spot for me to not only buy new games, but also just to waste time away from my house. Not that going home was a bad thing, but going outside was good for your soul. Yeah, pretty much. There were actually a wide variety of stores to go into and shop in. We had clothes, games, even a bookstore full of school textbooks at a discount. We were pretty lucky. Even if you were a lone butterfly and just wandered, there was always something to do at the mall. When you have a daily allowance from parents who are away, the idea of the mall becomes a very tantalizing idea. You could buy anything you had the cash for. I walked around and began to wander, hoping to find something that would catch my interest in the windows. Fitness store, game store, department store, bookstore, go home. Bookstore. To be honest, I just want to go to the game store. Might as well. Let's just go. The mall game store was one I often visited. I was surprised that the clerks hadn't memorized my name with how many times I showed up in the past. I usually came for multiple games I pre-ordered or for a new system to play on. My latest buy was my portable Pocket Kiss, exclusively made for dating sims and visual novels. I was insanely happy with my purchase, given the chance to play multiple games like Cherry Blossoms. It even had the capability of playing indie games as long as they were programmed correctly. I walked around and looked at some of the new games, curious if there was anything I wanted. However, I could tell from how busy the clerk was that I wasn't going to check out for a while. Maybe I would buy something tomorrow with the allowance I was getting. I browsed for a bit, taking some time to note some game titles I wanted before leaving. Alright. Let's check the bookstore then. The smell of books and fresh paper greeted me as I entered the bookstore. It was a book lover's fantasy. Everything was stacked perfectly on the shelves, and the entire store felt like a library of sorts. There were even small benches in the aisles to use for skimming through books you were interested in. I began to slowly walk up and down the aisles, looking through the titles that lined the shelves in curiosity. Was there a book I wanted? One look at the front desk snuffed out any desire in me to buy a book. The clerk was busy dealing with a man who was holding a massive stack of books and carrying a massive attitude. This was going to take a while. Maybe I could buy something tomorrow with the allowance I was getting. I browsed for a bit, taking some time to mentally note some books before leaving. I think I'll just go home now. I finally made it home. As soon as I passed the archway of my front door, I let out a relaxed sigh. Day 2. Over. I tossed my bag onto the couch and began to make dinner for myself. Was this how the following 12 days would be? I'd go to school, ignore the lessons, and come home to eat and sleep? That seemed really boring. Still, I had the option to make a friend, and some opportunities were presented to me. I thought of Jessika and how she liked to hang out in the courtyard. Despite being a slightly snobbish girl, I could tell that there was a genuine sweetness behind her regiment, I think. Bleh. I don't know how to say words. Or regiment. I don't know. I decided to let it go. People were picking partners next class, so maybe I'd be excused, or maybe I'd get the chance to be partnered up with one of the girls I had met. I wasn't sure. I was going to find out tomorrow. I would find out tomorrow. I took my time with dinner and contemplated on what to do before bed. Prep an outfit, work out, play Cherry Blossoms, study. Play Cherry Blossoms! You decided to play a dating sim! There were probably other video games I could be playing, but I never really got into them like I did dating sims. Especially indie dating sims. There was just something sweet and pure about these games. Life was simple, relationships came easily, and there was something interesting about managing the life of a total stranger and helping them find love. Plus, I'd be lying if I said I didn't get attached to the girls in these games. Sure, they could be a little one-note at times, but the good Sims made it a very pretty and nuanced note. I can't see that or pronounce that. I had amassed quite the collection since I discovered the games, and while most of them were the boy finds girl sorts, I did have a few good yaoi and otome games to pick from. Oh boy. Still, I had a game that I was busy working through, and as any good gamer was, I had to finish the game to full completion before moving on to a new story. I booted up the game and a familiar window popped open that played a sweetly catchy theme. I smiled as I considered who I might want to romance this time. Affection 3. Day 3 of school. I had to force myself out of bed as the weight of Wednesday began to trickle through my soul. Hump day. Never fun. Oh my god. That was like the day, Wednesday, my friend would always go crazy like, guess what day it is? every Wednesday. It's so funny, but I just love her, even though it gets kind of annoying. I still love my friend though. I can only hope I got through it without incident. Please do. I packed my lunch, threw my backpack over my shoulder, and made my way to school. To my surprise, Latifah and Sydney were not on the sidewalk, leaving me alone to my thoughts. After yesterday's stumbles with the dating sim talk, I was actually a bit glad to be alone walking to school this time. I made my way to the front of the school, joining other students in entering the building, and couldn't help but hear the multiple murmurs and conversations about final presentations.
Did you decide your topics yet?
Nope. I'm just hoping it comes to me before class starts.
Hey, do you want to be my partner for the final project?
Sure. What's your topics?
Students were already picking partners? I guess it wasn't any of my business, but I couldn't deny my natural curiosity. Entering my first class, I could see everyone huddled in little groups, chatting away still about the damnable topic.
You sure you're gonna be good with your final, Nini? Whoever you pick as your partner might slack off.
I'm not the type to slack off, but I know the struggle. You get to work with partners and you're doing all the work instead of the other partner, so yeah. Okay, she's Latifah, let me remember that.
I'll be fine. Make sure you pair up with someone who cares about sports like you do so you don't get a bad partner too.
And she's Sydney. Okay, they're kind of cute together, to be honest. I like them both.
Jessika, Benny, do either of you have partners?
Nope. I'm waiting until final period to find a partner.
Aw.
Same. There's no point in pairing with someone who isn't in the same class as you during that time.
Kayla, would you be my partner?
I appreciate the offer, but I'd like to wait until final period to decide who to work with, so I cannot give you an answer now. Thank you, though.
Okay, so I'm gonna remember Latifah, Sydney, Kayla, Jessika, and Benny. Okay, I think I remember all the names. Everyone seemed so nervous. Was the final presentation that big of a deal for everyone? How much of a grade was it?
All right, settle down. Let's get started with first period.
And with that, class begun. For a brief moment, the nervous air revolving around the final projects disappeared to focus on the classes at hand. The other students had to wait to seal their fates, whatever that fate was to be. I felt a bit like a black sheep, unsure of where my role was in this chaos of finals. Was I required to help someone? Did I just have to sit and watch everyone? Both seemed gruesomely tedious. Still, if I had to be involved, I had a couple of options to decide from partner-wise. Every class after was the exact same. They began with conversations of partners, raising the tension in the air, then silence would claim the students' voices as classes began. I felt a twinge of desire to ask someone about them. My curious need to know what exactly was happening was almost too high to control. But who to ask? Should I bother? I waited until lunch to ponder on it. There was no need to rush things. But I hated to be left in the dark. Maybe a teacher knew. Maybe another student could help me. Then again, with the amount of chaos occurring because of the simple mention of the finals, I was slightly afraid to ask a student what was going on. Students were talking left and right, either getting partners or discussing topics to present. I don't think the cafeteria could get any louder than it was then and there. How the heck is everyone so crazed about this?
You're talking about the final, right?
Yeah, don't do that. Huh? Turning around, I was greeted by the sight of Kayla, Benny, Jessika, Sydney, and Latifah moving to my lone table and smiling kindly at me. Hi, guys. Hopefully I can remember all your names now. I did say I remembered it, but hopefully this time I fully remember all the names. Anyway.
Hey, mind if we join you? We all usually eat together on Wednesdays, and you're kinda sitting at the table we choose each week.
Oh, well, feel free. I don't care. Oh, sure. I was surprised to see the girls all together. Did they all know each other somehow? I usually saw Latifah and Sydney as a pair alone. Same with Benny and Jessika unless Kayla showed up. Why were they all together? The girls sat down in the empty seats with Sydney pulling up her wheelchair in the space between Latifah and Benny.
So, you're interested in why everyone is so tense?
A little, yeah.
Well, I'm sure you can guess, but our final presentations are a big portion of our final grade, not just for class, but in our senior evaluations.
Yeah, I know the struggle about that.
Yep, we have to show that we know our shit.
Latifah?
Stuff. Our stuff. We gotta know our stuff and show the school and the board that we didn't spend our 4 years here slacking off.
Yeah. And the final presentations prove that?
Well, we're taught how to present information, and we've studied a lot of things during school. The school just wants us to show that we listened.
The entire school board will be present during our last day of class, where all of us will eventually show off our projects 2 by 2.
Okay.
You've gotten the schedule, right? Next Thursday is our deadline when freshmen, sophomores, and juniors are starting summer vacation.
Oh boy. Wait, so the younger students get to get summer vacation early?
Yep, it sucks big time, but it's a fair trade for the presentation.
Yeah, because we gotta present to the school board, and then we're out of high school for like, I don't know. We're out of high school forever, and then we can do our jobs, get jobs, and live our lives, and then the younger grades gotta go for next year. You know, that stuff. The more I listened, the more confused I became. Seniors had to stay an extra day before graduation for a final project for the board? Where was the logic in that? I just explained it. Anyway. So you have to sacrifice a day of summer for this? Is it really worth the grade? The girls looked at each other, taking in my question. Michaela, however, cleared her throat to take the lead in replying back to me.
It's not just for a grade, mind you. There's also a reward for the best presentation.
Oh. What kind of a reward?
Money. Scholarship money, to be precise.
Scholarship. Gotta get that scholarship money. Wait, really?
If you plan to go to college, the board offers a large amount of scholarship money to the best presentation.
However, if you decide not to go to school, the scholarship becomes a check for you to use however you want.
Whoa. Is that possible?
It's in the rules. A minor paragraph to cover students who do not apply to colleges. It's a loophole that the board often forgets to amend because they assume all of the students will go to a college of some form.
So you can either go to school with a scholarship, or you can spend your summer vacation with half of $10,000.
Whoa. Say what? I was flabbergasted. $10,000 for a final project? Even split between two people, that's $5,000 that can go anywhere. No wonder students were anxious. Even the students that didn't really seem the pro-academic type. The girls collectively laughed at my expression and reaction.
So, now you know why this is important to us. We make the best presentation, we not only get to graduate, but we also might get a monetary reward.
Understand now?
I nodded. That was crazy. The girls continued to eat between speaking, but they gave me a small lecture of the school, one I obviously needed to hear. The founders of the school, Marcus Taylor and Alexander Wright, wanted to ensure education for every child in the district. So they secured a practical fortune on the school with financial backers and stocks that were legal to use in their time. With that fortune came a building budget, one that secured the staff and continued to make the school grow. It cycled and continued to expand, even to this day, where the school had the ability to fund anything it needed, including the final project competition. That's why everything looked well kept for a public school. It wasn't run by the state, but rather by a legacy left behind. I had to admit, I was in awe as I heard the story of the school. The fact that the creators were smart enough to arrange a cycling budget for the school was mind-blowing. Tell me about it. I couldn't help the desire to participate flicker in my mind. I mean, come on, $5,000? That's a beautiful number. I could use it however I wanted. The question was, who would let me be their partner? As the bell rang, signaling the end of the period, I began to ponder on my way to class. I sat down in my final class, looking around at each of the students. Some seemed to be anxious to talk to someone, while others were confident, assumedly already paired with another. I wondered, was I even going to be allowed to participate? I wasn't exactly a true student of their school, so did the rules exclude me?
All right, class. Today's the day you decide partners. Make sure to have your list of topics ready.
This was my chance to know. I raised my hand. Excuse me?
Yes, Riley.
What about me? A hushed conglomerate of whispers rose along the rest of the class. Curious as I was, I stared at the teacher, waiting for an answer. Despite being the head of the class, the teacher cleared her throat and looked to Kayla.
Miss Hahn, you were fully aware of the qualifications around the final project, correct?
Kayla stood in her seat, which was odd for a student to do in an American school, and smiled back at the teacher with a nod.
I am, ma'am. The rules state that any student in their 12th year of schooling will be required to participate.
Does that include transfer students?
There is no addendum or note about transfer students, ma'am. It simply says any student in their 12th year.
Thank you, Miss Hahn.
Kayla sat down, and the teacher once again took control of the room.
Riley, I will discuss terms with the board this evening. However, please participate today under the assumption that you will be doing a project with someone.
It was a shot. I looked around the room and noticed a lot of people staring at me in either slight distrust or amazed intrigue. I looked over to Jessika. She was a girl I got to know during my short time, and despite stealing her spot in the courtyard during our one moment together, she seemed like the kind of girl I'd have fun working with. I had to make a choice. Everyone slowly began to move, but time seemed to almost freeze for me. It was like some sort of deity or string of fate wanted to know. Who was I going to choose?
Interesting choices you've made.
Hi.
But do you think that she is enough for you?
Who are you referring to exactly?
After all, you're here to taste everything, right?
Uh-huh. What?
Why not try again?
Okay. Alright then, that was the end of All For You, the demo version. Alright. That last part just kind of got me off on a doozy. Okay. But anyways, yeah, that's it. That's the demo for All For You. And I actually really like it so far, which is it's really, really cool. And, you know, all the girls are interesting in their own way. But for me, it's like, you know, I cannot wait for the full version to release because I am actually pretty excited. Michaela did an awesome job with the demo for this game, and I'm actually really excited to, you know, do all the routes. I'm actually more interested in Jessika. Like, when the game comes out, I'll probably be doing Jessica's route first. But, you know, I'll try, like, to get the game when it releases. Hopefully I can get it. But for now, this is a really great game that Michaela made, and I can't wait till the full version releases when she's finished making it. I'm cheering you on, Michaela. I'm sure that this would be another great game for us to play. And you know, the main interests are girls. Half of my gay side is like, yay, and my other straight side is like, why are you doing this? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna stop now. But anyways, when the full version releases, I will try my best to get the game, and when I do get it, the first route I'll be doing is Jessica's route, because to me Jessika gets me, like, you know, Jessika seems more intriguing for me, and maybe I'll do Kayla next or Sydney, I'm not sure, but for the first route I will definitely do Jessica's route, and maybe after that you guys can vote when the full game releases and I get it. I hope you guys enjoyed the demo for All For You, and Michaela, you did a great job once more. I can't wait to see the full version of the game. I'm really excited for it, actually. But anyways, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you guys would like to see more of my videos, then please subscribe. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!